Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing. Hi, I'm Paul and I'll be your host this morning here on New Zealand Sports Radio. In the news this morning, we'll have a look at the latest game in the IPL. We've got news from Southland around the surplus that they made over in rugby. We've also got with what's going on in the golf, as well as initiative by Sports in New Zealand as well. So this is your best way to start the day with all the important sports news. And let's kick off with that golf news. And in the LPGA, Lydia Ko will be back in action after her win last weekend in the Lottie Championship at the Hugel Air Premier LA Open with that tees off tonight. Lydia Ko's tee time will be tomorrow morning at 8:10 a.m. for the opening round of that one. She's one of the last, or towards the end of those teeing off in that tournament. Keeping over in the States then, and looking at the NBA. And 9 games yesterday. Some of the key results: the Jazz beating the Lakers 111 to 97. We also saw the Warriors down at the 76ers 107 to 96, as well as the Suns beating the Bucks in a tight one. Went to overtime there, 128 to 127. How does that make the table look? Well, with the 76ers, Nets, and Bucks all losing at their latest games. It stays in that order at the top of the Eastern Conference, giving the Hawks the ability to close one game in on them. Over on the other side, the top teams all won with the Jazz, the Sun leading the Suns and the Clippers there on that side of things. The Lakers have dropped down to 5th now after, well, remember that LeBron James got that injury, and that sort of has started their slide. Moving on then to the Better Balance, or Balance is Better project by Sports New Zealand and New Zealand, or Gymnastics New Zealand. After an independent review last year, has found that cases of bullying and overtraining were taking place. It's good to see that they are one of 10 teams now that have signed up for this. 10 sports now that signed up for this. Athletics, badminton, basketball, golf, rugby league, softball, touch volleyball, and Waka Ama have all committed to this initiative. Cricket, football, hockey, netball, and rugby all signed up 2 years ago. And we, having had experience, or some of the our contributors have experience on as to how that has improved the cricketing coaching of the youth, where it's all about enjoyment and enjoying sport. So good to see that gymnastics and those other sports have all signed up to that initiative as well. Moving on then to rugby, and Rugby Southland has posted a $730,000 surplus last year after one of the provinces that was in serious debt a number of years ago. That is a good sign for them. And they've said that they will not be increasing their player budget. They have the smallest player budget out of any of the provinces. And whilst it is a big number, they need to back up. They need to start filling their reserves and looking at their structures rather than spending it on just straight away on players. So good to see they putting the right structures in place down there in Southland to improve the financial situation for the province and also grow the sport down in that area. Over then into the cricket, and Trent Bolt's team, the The Mumbai Indians were in action against Delhi Capitals. Mumbai Indians went in to bat first, and Rohit Sharma, the captain, scored at the top of the innings, scored 44, but he got very few other batsmen could stick around or score many runs. Yadva and Kishan both made starts but didn't go on to a big score, and they reached 137 for 9 off their 20 overs. Leading the bowling for the Indians, leading the bowling for the Capitals was Amit Mishra with 4 wickets for 24 runs off his 4 overs in that one. Delhi Capitals came to bat, and they lost Shaw pretty early in the second over, but Dewan and Smith then put together, but laid the basis for the innings as they reached 138 for 4 to win the game with 5 balls remaining. So Delhi Capitals beating the Mumbai Indians there in the IPL. You have now started the day. The best ways for all the important sports news. Don't forget to join us this evening at 8 p.m. For the standoff show, where we'll round up all the league action and look forward to the next round of the NRL as well. That will be followed by at 9 p.m. by the Knicks newsletter, obviously going through the latest A-League and Phoenix news. So do join us for those this evening, and have a wonderful day.